Hey guys, welcome to our next lesson. From this point on, we only have 6 more lessons left for the entire year. All right, guys, so stick with me. Let's get through this and let's get that college credit. So today we are doing section 4.5 day 1. We are dealing with exponential and logarithmic equations. And so the first thing we're going to look at, of course, is what makes something an equation. So in order to be an equation, remember what it needs is an equal sign. All right, so that's what makes something an equation. On a graph, the solution is always going to be where the lines intersect. So the solution here would be this ordered pair of 1, 3, and usually we are just looking for the x value, so it would be x equals 1. Okay, so just a little bit of review there that you guys should be familiar with. Now let's talk about solving these exponential and logarithmic equations. To solve them with graphs, what we're going to do is we graph the left side of the equation into y1 on the calculator. We graph the right side of the equation into y2. We go to second, trace, intersect. Always important, guys, please make sure that we select an appropriate window. Okay, if you cannot see the entire graph, then you need to zoom out, make your window bigger. And then for step number 4, do we want the x or the y? When we are solving for today, we are always solving for the x value because x is going to be the variable in our equation. All right, so let's get started here. My first example, number 11. Solve each problem algebraically and graphically, round answers to 3 significant digits. So we're going to focus on solving this problem through graphing on this slide. On the next slide, I'll show you guys the algebra because it's truly your choice which method you want to use. So in order to solve this equation, e to the power of x equals 3.65, if I were to graph it, in y1, I'm going to put the left side of the equation. So I would put e to the power of x, okay? Remember that this letter e is just to the, actually it's not just to the right. To get that letter e, we just do second and then the division symbol. Okay, so that's how we get the letter e. And that's what I would graph in y1. In y2, I would just graph the straight line, 3.65. Okay, so this red curve would be the graph for y1, e to the power of x. This blue line would be the graph for y2, 3.65. Then I do second, trace, intersect. I find where they intersect. And here is my answer. Remember, I care about the x value. To go to 3 significant digits, I would take the 1, I would take the 2, I would take the 9, but then making sure that we are rounding appropriately. So I'm going to go x equals 1.30. Okay, guys? So that would be my final answer. Sound good? So this is how we solve this problem by graphing. Now let's show you guys how to solve the same exact problem using algebra. Because personally, for a lot of these problems, I think the algebra is going to be much easier. Graphing, you have to make sure you have the right window. You have to type everything in. I'm going to show you how easy this problem is to solve algebraically. The opposite of e, remember, is natural log. And natural log is represented with ln. So I'm just going to take the natural log of both sides. ln of e to the power of x equals ln 3.65. On the left-hand side, the ln and the e cancel out. So all I'm left with is x equals ln 3.65. And so this you just put right into your calculator. And so my final answer would be x equals 1.29. Okay? Because you really end up with 1.294727. So to 3 significant digits, 1, 2, 3. All right, guys, so personally, I think the algebra is much faster for this. It is your choice if you want to solve it using algebra or if you want to solve it using the graph. All right, let's look at our next problem. Again, we are first going to solve this with the graph. So in y1, I would put the left side of the equal sign. So I would put log base 5 of 2x minus 7. Remember, the default base is 10. So in order to get log base 5, you have to go into math in the calculator. Okay, so that math button on the left, right underneath the second and the alpha, you have to go into math and change the base. And then for y2, I would just put in the right side of the equation, which is 2. So this red line is the y2 equals 2. And then this blue curve is the y1 equals log base 5, 2x minus 7. Then we do second trace intersect on the calculator. Here we go. And remember, we are solving for x. X is the variable in this equation. So I care about the x part of my intersection. And so you would tell me the answer is x equals 16. All right, guys, so that would be my answer, x equals 16, and how we solve it by graphing. Now let's take a look at how we solve it using algebra. So same exact problem. All right, guys, notice here's my left side, here's my right side, but let's solve this algebraically. Now, in order to solve this algebraically, the first thing we're going to do is rewrite it in exponential form. Okay? Right now, it's in logarithmic form, and so we want to get rid of that log. So if it is log base 5 in exponential form, 5 is going to stay my base, and the number that's over here by itself on the other side of the equal sign is going to become my exponent. So I'm going to have 5 squared equals, and it's going to equal whatever you're taking the log of, equals 2x minus 7. So now we have like the easiest middle school math problem. Okay, 5 squared equals 25. So 2x minus 7, add 7 to both sides. You guys get 32 equals 2x. Divide by 2. And so your final answer equals 16. So notice we're getting the same answer either way, whether you solve by graphing or solve by algebra. Again, you guys know I'm a fan of the algebra. I find it much faster. All right? But it's totally up to you, whatever your preference is. And that's it, guys. Okay, so a nice short lesson here. Here is your homework for 4-5 day 1, your textbook, page 449, 8 to 22 evens. Notice it is only 8 problems. All right, so you can decide if you want to graph those 8 problems, if you want to do the algebra, if you want to mix and match. Okay? But thank you all for joining me for this lesson, and I will see you guys for the next one.